Wow, hello. There we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a rather special live stream today. The reason this is a little special is, even though it is listed as an Elite Dangerous live stream, because we will do something Elite Dangerous related, I wanted to do a kind of behind the scenes kind of live stream. I've done those like way in the past. And they're usually a ton of fun to give you guys some insight into what goes on behind the scenes, like the process, kind of my follow on through my workflow, at least part of it, of the whole video making thing. Two things first. There's a party next door, so if there's a little bass leaking through, then well, there's not a lot I can do about it. The microphone should hopefully be able to cancel that out. It should be pretty good at that. No, it's not. We're not gonna do. So here's the thing. It's difficult to do these. I mean, I should probably have a disclaimer. I'm not sure if this is gonna work. I did do a quick test before I started the live stream here, and my computer went into a blue screen. Then I rebooted and I tried again. It said it crashed because the webcam crashed. So I don't know. But then I rebooted and started and tried again, and then it worked. So I'm hoping it will work, but there's a chance it might not. Because what I want to do is I want to try and do a live edit of a video that's gonna come out hopefully next week. It's gonna be a long edit because it's one of those Science of Elite videos. They do take a long time to edit because there's a lot more graphic, there's a lot more stuff moving around to the screen that needs to be masked off and tracked. That takes a little bit longer to edit than the usual tutorial kind of video. So that's my plan for today, try to do those edits. But of course, editing software is, it's not the lightest task to run on a PC. And doing that while live streaming, I've never really done that before, so I'm not really sure how well it will perform. So if the stream suddenly dies, then it's probably just my computer who buckled under and decided to kill itself in the process. We'll see how it goes. Regardless, I pretty much just wanted to try and take you guys along for the ride through a edit of a video, and then we'll just see where this goes. So I think we're going to start by just jumping over to the main screen here. So I have cheated a little bit because I don't want to do both. I can't live stream and record at the same time. So I have pre-recorded some things that we're going to edit. I hope I don't have to record more stuff. And if I have, I will leave that out of the edit and then I'll add that later once I have it recorded. That's right. I did it for Remember Carlos, and that actually did work. So let's hope that this is going to work. Well, let's start by getting some editing software up and running here. There we go. Matt asked if it's super late over here. Nah, as Donglor said, it's like 9:45. It's not bad. It's a good time to edit this kind of this time of day. So this is the project file for the April update video I did that came out on Wednesday. This is the project for that. So but that's not the video we're gonna do now. Actually, first we're gonna go in and I already have a folder open. Do I already have it open? I do. Haha! I came prepared. So I already have the folder open. You can see here I have some voice recordings here. I have my camera recording here. I have a small clip that I prepared. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and this one is gonna be even more crazy when we're done. Actually, we could run through it if you want to see. Basically, we have the top layer here. That is the frame. So if I mute this, you can see here. That's the frame around me there. Then I have a mask. That's basically a stencil cutting out that small corner. You can see the corner here is of course missing. So if I remove that stencil, it'll pretty much, oh, not there, mute of course. it will take out the whole thing because, well, then there's nothing to cut out if I don't have the stencil. It will just mute everything. That cuts that out. Then I have the camera itself. I have the voice, the audio from the camera, which is just an empty track, since the camera doesn't record any audio. Then I have the background behind me, which is also a separate track. Then I have my actual voice recording. Then I have an overlay track, which is all the, if we jump in here, which is all these overlays here, which goes into this track here. Then I have a separate track here for the text element I did. When I talked about tooltips, I added my own tooltip here for fun. Then we have the video track with the main video running in the background. We have the audio track for that video. Scrolling down, we have the main video track for the intro and the outro, and the audio track for the intro and the outro. So those are all the tracks that I have in this specific video. This might seem like a lot, but as you will see when I begin working on this, it's not as bad as it looks. It's quite easy. Okay, so as you can see here, I already prepared a few. Like I have a cam recording, I have a voice recording, I have a small clip that I'm going to use, but I'll probably have to salvage some clips from. I have some stock videos stored up around that I hope we can use, and then we're gonna grab stuff from the internet where we can get some royalty-free stuff, and we can use that. Yeah, so I think we're just gonna get started. The first step when making any video is we're gonna jump out, and I'm gonna take my my template here, gonna move that in here, and we're gonna rename this to the project, and this one is called Center of the Universe. There we go. So now that we have our project template, we can go ahead and we can open up that template. So we're gonna find it here. It's under Science of Elite, Center of the Universe. There's our template. Let's open that. Okay, so here we have a blank template. You can see I've already created a lot of tracks here. That's because, as you will see in a bit, there's a lot of effects that goes on the tracks. But right now, this is just about 10-minute video of just that frame in the corner, which is the only static thing that will always be in the videos. So the first thing I would do would be to go out here, and I'll grab my voice recording and my camera and that small clip that I need, and we're gonna drag that in. Okay, first step is to drag in the video. That's just the camera. You can see that's now sitting nicely up there in the corner, and it's already been, this is one of the things where I use a template, right? If I go in here to track motion, you can see it's already been moved. Like if I move this down here, right? I could move this around and I could place it, or I could resize it if I needed to. But oh, not there. Camera pose. There we go. But I've already pre-done that, so I don't have to do that every time. I just drag it in and it's already in the correct position because I've done that in the template. And as you can see, many of the key positions that I would often use are like stored in here on a list. So the cam end, for instance, that the position the camera will be in when the end scene is running. And the one called cam pose is where the camera is when it's in the upper right hand corner. And just as that, I also have the camera lower right, I have camera lower left, and maybe also upper right. Maybe not. Okay, I don't have upper right. I can make that if I need it. Anyway, just quickly gonna check if YouTube is still running. It seems like it is. I'm just gonna make sure again, because I have done this before, but hope it's not gonna crash on me. Okay, so now that we have that in, the second step is to get in our voice recording. There's two separate tracks. So here we have the voice, we have the camera. And now we need to align up the voice and the camera because they may not start at the same time. So I should have here, you can see there's a small blip. It might be difficult to catch on the live stream, but there's a small blip here. You hear that? That's the clap. So we're gonna place the cursor right over the clap. And we're going to begin dragging this around until my hands clap right there. So now we have lined up the audio and the video. So if I go into random place concepts, so we can kind of get an and this is going to be really confusing for you guys, because you'll both have my voice like when I'm talking, and you'll have my voice in the video at the same time, so that might be like a big mess, but I hope that's going to be okay. Okay, now that we got video and audio aligned, I'm just going to get myself something to drink here real quick. Give me a second. There we go. Okay, next up is color correction. So I do have a lot of control over the lighting setup, especially colors, that I have those very finely tuned, and of course I've tuned the camera so that it is set up to work with the lighting colors that I'm using and the temperature. But there will be daylight, sometimes I will record at night, so lighting can change slightly depending on what time of day I'm recording. So to accommodate that, you can see if we scroll through the video, I have these cards, as you can see I'm holding up now in the video. I can show it to you here. It's basically just a color chart that shows us the different colors. And what we're going to do, we're going to get in here, we're going to go to FX, where I have already pre-added a color corrector. Yes, chroma keying is also done in post. We'll get to the chroma keying in a bit. But I've already pre-added a color corrector that's currently just doing nothing. Oh, this actually has some presets. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to disable the color corrector. Then we're going to take this pen, and this is low, so that would be black. So we're going to go up here, we're going to click on the black, and then move that little dot around. Same thing here, mid, that's the gray area over here, like that. And the high is the white up here. So now when I turn that on, it doesn't do a lot, and probably with the limited color space shown on the live stream, you probably can't see a difference. I can see a difference on the screen here when I turn it on and off. But what this does is it ensures that if my white balance is slightly off, or if the temperature, if I set something incorrectly, it corrects that. It can't save you if you're like way off, but it can do the like minute changes to ensure you get something that's fairly close to the true colors as they're supposed to be. A card like this is also a lifesaver when you're out and about. If you are out shooting out in the real world, where you don't have like studio lights with very, very specific, very accurate temperatures, then having a color chart like this is a lifesaver. They're very cheap, and all you do is you just hold it up. You just have to have it in one frame, and that's it. And then when you come back in post, it just saves you hours of color correcting. If you can just hold up the card, click on it, boom, and it will get you something that's pretty close, and you can do some fine tuning afterwards. But for now, we're just gonna leave that there with that color correction. Okay, and do a save, so that's saved. Okay, next up is we're gonna jump into the track here, the track itself, and we're gonna add a chroma keyer. There we go. We're gonna disable the chroma keyer. Gonna click here on the little pen tool, and we're going to select a green color from the background right there. We can then move down sliders, turn it back on, and then I'm going to go here. This one says show mask only. So this basically shows the stencil of what it's cut and what it's showing. So what is opaque and what is transparent. We can see right now everything is opaque. But as I begin to increase my threshold here, you will see it begin to go out. So I'm just going to move out until it's pretty much just the silhouette of me. And then the higher threshold can go on about the same area. We're gonna add a slight edge blur to kind of like hair would otherwise be like a very sharp edge, but just to blur that out a little bit. And we remove the stencil. Simple as that. We have a nice chroma keying defined as. There you go. So now we're almost done with at least that's part of it. Yeah. Let me see here. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so this is the small small hook that I'm doing here at the beginning. So we don't need any of all this stuff in the beginning. So I'm just going to split the track there, move those back, and then pull these all the way back to the beginning. Oops, get that right, all the way back to the beginning. Same with this one there. Okay, so now we pretty much have all that aligned up. Oh, hold on, that was maybe a bad idea, because what did I do? There we go. I need to make the cut a little bit more accurate here. So here we can see I'm looking at the time. I want about a half-second intro here before the clip before we actually begin talking. So I'm just gonna give myself half a second there. And now I can drag these back, drag that one back, extend these out to the length of the video clip. That's probably gonna be shortened down. There's a lot of talking in here, it seems, but there might be some retakes. I mean, this was recorded quite a while ago. As you can see here, this was recorded on the 29th. So that's a good, what, 2 weeks ago? Yeah, about 2 weeks ago. Yes, I can link the audio, and we're gonna do that now. So the next step to make sure is I'm gonna take all the camera stuff and I'm gonna click G for group. That means that all this stuff up here is now moving as one group. So if I move one, I move all of them. I'm not gonna do it with the audio track, even though I could, because sometimes when I talk, there will be these voice, like small pop sounds, and I try to edit those out. There could be one actually right here. No, that's a and you can actually hear there's one. It's very faint. And if we do it like this, you hear that? Stuff like that I would normally go in and I would try to eliminate. And the way I would eliminate those would be just to split on each side of it and mute it. And now it's gone, right? We're not going to do that right now. But because I'm going to split the audio track on each side, I normally don't want to align up audio and video and fix it together, because that means I would also have to split the main track, and it just makes everything a little bit more complicated. Of course, I also run the risk of desynchronizing this by accident, but if I just make sure that I clip everything at the same position every time, then it's okay. Okay. The center of the universe, and today I'm gonna prove it to you. So that is the key. This is the hook. So we're gonna give myself a 1 second there, split that, get that, move that out of the way, and then we're gonna need a clip to put in. And I prepared a clip here that should be okay, I think. I'm just gonna speed that up. I can, by holding control and dragging it, I can speed up so that it plays a little bit faster. So I'm just gonna play it slightly faster than it's actually recorded, just to fit the length of the hook a little bit better. Select all of these, give myself a 1 second fade out, like so. Boom. And then we're gonna drag in the intro down here. And we're just gonna take just the audio side and we're gonna fade that in. So now, if we play this back, you right there. You are the center of the universe, and today I'm gonna prove it to you. And there you go. Okay. So now the interesting part is, how many retakes did I do? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Science of Elite with Down To Earth Astronomy. Now, today is not really that elite focused, but there's definitely science focused, and this might be a longer video. So, hello, ladies and and there we go again. Okay, I'm just gonna try to find where I actually do because I would do these retakes over and over again if I. Sometimes I would start talking and just say, okay, let's begin recording. And then after I've done the standard, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, then I realize, okay, I have no idea how I'm going to start this. And then I stop and try again. So that happens quite often. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. And no, it was back to Science of Elite, not Elite Dangerous. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Science of Elite with Down To Earth Astronomy. Now, this is going to be more of a science video rather than an elite video, but I hope you still find it interesting, and it might be a little longer because there's a lot of complicated stuff here, so be warned. Now, the introductory statement there is technically correct, but we... Okay, I think this might, if I look at it, it seems... It's funny, I've been doing these intros so many times that I begin to recognize the waveform of when I say, hello, ladies and gentlemen. So you can see here, it always starts with a slightly bigger peak, and then it like goes down in like a triangle kind of shape. So we have one here. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have the same shape here. Oops, we have the same shape over here. So I can spot it. You can see there's the same shape, and I'm just trying to spot the same. That's the two definitions we're going to... That was not it. So now this is going to be more of a... Okay. That's a lot of effort for a single video. Well, I do put a lot of effort. This is not the videos that I do. It's not just something you sit down and edit in 10 minutes and then it's over. The video I did on the April update took me about 2 hours to edit. And this one is probably going to be closer to 4 or 5 hours. Hello, ladies. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it tonight. Okay, so this is where we want to start. So let's just put that there. Give me a 1 second buffer. And then we can drag that back there. And then we kind of want that when this begins to fade out. So this, like around this area here. Right, so just gonna drag that, drag that in around there is probably pretty good. And then fade that in. Now, we don't have any background video yet. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Science of Elite with Down To Earth Astronomy. So, Science of Elite videos. Good evening, 34. So, Science of Elite videos are a little different. Normally, if I do like tutorial videos, I would already have a background track here or a video track recorded that I would record at the same time. With Science of Elite, I don't have that because I more use the background video as a supplement to what I'm saying rather than the other way around. Where I'm talking about the video, it's more the video showing something related to what I'm talking about with the Science of Elite video. So it's a little different than what I normally do. But luckily, to speed up the workflow, because if I had to go out and record background video every single time, it would take forever. So again, in the interest of speeding up things, what I have done is I have a stock footage collection of video, Elite Dangerous video, that I can put in as background video if I just need a clip of something. There's all kinds of good stuff in here. Here's a lot of stuff on that's related to Thargoids, for instance, like a burning station, a crashed anaconda, a crashed goid, some videos from a base somewhere. Exactly, the talking head format. But instead of doing a talking head where it's just me sitting like, hello Dave. Hello Dave is really just a talking head video, right? But I want to do some more visual stuff with these. This is also where I use these to kind of teach myself to be a little bit better at editing, because I'm not a good editor at all. But I have different, like here I have some Thargoid related stuff, like an INRA basis, a hyperdiction recording, and a long video from a session I had at a Thargoid base. A lot of other stuff here if I want something with some action in it. I have some pre-recording of basically ships shooting up each other. That can be useful, I guess. Here's the recording that I used that I actually did. This one was actually done specifically for the April update video. It's basically just 10 minutes of James Memorial with that spinning in the background. We have other good stuff in here, like here I have, this is a 5 GB video, by the way. It's a massive thing. Here I have a half-hour mining trip where I recorded everything, and I made sure to do a lot of out-of-ship recordings, so I had a lot of shots like that I can go and grab out if I need something related to mining. I have like half an hour worth of mining video. I just did that in one go, and then I can go in and snip out small sections here and there. It just speeds up the workflow when you do it, just record a lot. I even have something like the menus from Elite, the bare menus. spinning anaconda in case I need that, stuff like that. Station. Oh, that's just a spinning station. We have that one, which I've been using a lot for the Science of Elite when I talked about stars. This one's a little different though. We might actually have to go in and do a recording here. Because what I would actually really like... Oh, you know what I could do? You know what we can do? Because now we're talking about stuff on a galactic scale or on the scale of a universe. So I want something that's kind of related to that. So you know what? We're just going to go in and we're going to find... Where's Hello Dave? Here's Hello Dave. And we're going to find the galaxy reversed. Boom. We could salvage that. Just pop that in there. Or the science video rather than an elite. Or the... Yeah, that could work. And we just have to make sure to have a lot. And then just basically copy that as many times as we need it. Oh. 1 second there. That should probably be enough. And to do that, we kind of shift it. What the wavelength was. Oh, hold on. These need to be cropped. Needs to be cropped down a little bit. I can see. Hold on. We just. It seems to fade to black at the end. We don't want that. Let's just get rid of that part. And now we can just copy it. Like a 1 second fade should probably do it, I guess. Far away from it, it's not as bright. So the further away it is, the more... Yeah, what if we do a longer fade? Will that be less obvious what's going on? Bright we're seeing it. So it's quite simple. I mean, if you imagine you have a lamp, if you stand close to the lamp and look at it, it's very, very bright. But if you walk far away from it, it's not as bright. So the further away it is... okay, that was pretty good. If you stand close to the lamp and look at it, it's very, very bright. But if you walk far away from it, it's... How much was that? About 7 seconds? Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing here. About 7 seconds, like so. Okay. And just to make sure we have enough, we're gonna add it one more time. 7 second fade. There we go. That should be good enough. Okay, so we will of course, I don't want just 15 minutes of a spinning galaxy in the background. We're gonna put in a ton of stuff here. So I think we'll pretty much start by we'll start by listening into the video, and then we'll begin to figure out oh, you know what I also could do? That intro part that I did here. Do I still have that? Hold on. I could also put that in, at least in the beginning, maybe? Again, as you can probably see from this is not something... I haven't planned this out ahead of time. This is actually me doing the edit right now. No, I don't have that recording anymore. That's a shame. Okay, I might change up something in the beginning just to have something else than just a spinning galaxy, since the beginning will often be a large section when I introduce the video, where there's not a lot going on. But let's begin to listen in, and let's begin to do some editing. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Science of Elite with Down To Earth Astronomy. Now this is going to be more of a science video rather than an elite video, but I hope you still find it interesting, and it might be a little longer because there's a lot of complicated stuff here, so be warned. Now, the introduction statement there is technically correct, but we need to get our terminology correct because we're working with two different versions, two different types of universe. of the universe. There is what's known as the universe, which is everything that we can see, everything that we can't see, and also everything that we will never be able to see. But it is also things that... Oh, so there was a kind of long pause here with that only thing was in the middle. Be able to see. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of that out of there and take this. Just a small, not too long fade, but just a quick, so it's not a jump cut, so it looks a little bit more natural. They will be able to see, but it is also thing. And then we have one of those thing. And I hunt these like religiously. There we go. Things that everything that ever has been and everything that ever will be. So the definition of the universe does not just expand into space, it also expands in a time dimension. This is a huge mind-boggling thing that's completely impractical to work with. So to make life a little bit easier, we have a definition called the observable universe, which is, as the name suggests, everything we can see, but also things that we can't see. It's not because dark matter we can't see, it's not part of the observable universe. It is. It's just everything that we could potentially see if we knew how. Okay, so again, gonna get rid of some of that, and then about the same amount of time over here. And again, I don't do this too accurately, it's just like in the ballpark kind of thing. And I would often use, when I do, like, if I change from one topic to the other and I do a fade, I would try to do like a 1 second fade between them. But if it's still the same topic, I do shorter fades to make it how. That's the two definitions. How. That's the two definitions we're going to be working with. Makes it just a little bit more natural. But before we can begin to understand where the center of the universe actually is, we of course need to know how distances are actually measured on larger scales. And to get that... Okay, same thing here. There's a lot of space here, so we're going to zoom scales. I'm gonna split that there, I guess, and split that around, oops, a little bit more there, I guess, like so. And you can see this is my point that I talked about not too long ago. This is all just talking head right now. There's nothing going on in the background. So this is where I would really want some more B-roll, and I think what I will do is I will go back to where I got this clip of where they zoom out, and so see if I can recover that. I can't remember where I put it. This is a pre-render of some of it because I don't want to sit and do the speed up live, because I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be able to handle that. And I'll put something else in there, something that's a little bit more interesting, so that there is something to look at while it's pretty much just a talking head video at this time. I just want to put something in that it doesn't draw too much attention, but it draws enough attention that that it keeps people interested, hopefully, for a little bit longer. Because especially when I do these Science of Elite videos, I try to go a little bit more in deep with the topics, because it is often more complicated topics. So yeah, but let's continue. And to get that, we need to get a tool called the Cosmology Distance Ladder. It's a series of discrete methods, different methods used to measure distances in space, and they work at various distances. For instance, thank you, Wulan, for the $5 donation. Saying thanks for what you're doing, Astro. You're very welcome. Let me see, where were we here? We had various distances. For instance, that moment when you interrupt yourself. For instance, if we take objects within our own solar. So I guess all of this could actually be removed. There goes the notification. Nice. Let me see, about there, I guess is good. Get rid of that. Drag that in. This is gonna be a long video though. Don't underestimate that. I mean, the video track itself is 15 minutes. I guess the finish, there's some stuff here that looks like that's gonna be a retake. I started on something and then did a retake of it later. So I might be able to remove some, and there's some sections in here that I might also remove. I think the finished video is gonna be anywhere between 13-14 minutes. So a little bit longer than usual. If we take objects within our own solar system, a common method is radar ranging. Basically you take a big old radar dish, you send a strong radio signal towards a planet. It will bounce off the planet and come back. You measure the time it takes the signal to go out there and come back again, and that's your and then you can, if you know the speed of light, then you can calculate how far away it is. So this works well within. Okay, so that didn't go too well at all. So, and I didn't do a retake of it, it seems. So I will see if I can salvage this. There and come back again. Let's take this again. A strong radio signal towards a planet. It will bounce off the planet and come back. You measure the time it takes the signal to go out there and come back again, and that's your and then you can, if you know the speed of light, then you can calculate how far away it is. God, this is gonna be difficult. Okay, what do I do here? Time it takes the signal to go out there and come back again. So I guess the first thing would be to get rid of that section there, right? And because there's nothing there. And that's your and then you can, if you know the speed of light, then you can. What would happen if I just took it there? Can I salvage this? Yeah, I know I'm in Elite Dangerous. Weird. Yeah, okay. Maybe I should change the categories. Maybe not that Elite Dangerous related. I know maybe the category is not. Let's see. Back again, and then you can, if you know the speed of light, then you can calculate how far away it is. So there and come back. Okay, let's see if this works. Go out there, the signal to go out there and come back again, and then you can, if you know the speed of light, then you can calculate how far away it is. So this works well within our old solar system, but obviously. Okay. Now we begin to get to a little bit more interesting part here, because oh no, there we go. Because now I want to begin to add some graphics, because there's just been a long section here where I talk about radar ranging, right? So what I have in mind here is whenever, like, I have the spinning galaxy, and that will kind of be the thing that ties the whole thing together. That will be the thing that will be constant throughout the whole video. But whenever I do a section where I want some graphics to go in over, I want that to be, still want it to be there, but I don't want it to be as prominent. So what I'm gonna do is we could just what do I do? We're gonna add, let's just find the section that we actually need here. If we take objects within our own solar system, a common method is radar ranging. So it's pretty much this section here, right? That's the whole radar ranging thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new video track. I'm gonna drag that down, and then we're gonna go over here. We go generate media, and now you can't see it because of the camera, but behind this, if I actually move the camera over there for a second, I can go solid color, and I can pick black, and we're just gonna drag a solid black color in there, and we can go back to our media explorer, and move the camera back as well. Whee, there we go. So what I want to do with this is basically in the whole section here where I talk about radar ranging, we still want the spinning galaxy to be there, but we don't want it to be as prominent. So we're gonna expand that a little bit. We're gonna fade that in about a second there, and oh, that was fade out. This is fade in there, and we're gonna put the opacity down. So let's say like there. Is that okay? So you can see here various distances. If we take objects within our own solar system, now the computer is having a little bit of a hard time doing this in real time. We're gonna go down to quarter quality, so it's not. This is really blurry now, but we get the effect. We work at various distances. if we take objects within our solar system.
It still has a really hard time doing this live. Normally what you would, if I don't stream, it can normally do this. And what you could also do if you have a really, really heavy section that the computer just can't do in real time, even at a reduced quality, you could go in and you could like select it here, and then you could go up and you could render as, and then you could render that small section of the video so you can see what it looks like. Not going to do that now, because it's not going to end well trying to render while live streaming, since rendering will pretty much just completely take every single resources that's left on the computer and just put it into that one task.
If we take objects within our solar system, a common method is...
Okay, so what I have in mind is to thinking. I want to take the basically have a picture of the Earth with like if you imagine like the Earth with like a completely huge oversized antenna, and then another planet. It could be Jupiter, it could be Saturn, and then have a radio, some kind of radio signal icon that goes there, boop, bounces back, maybe with a small clock running at the same time, something along those lines. So we'll go back to our where is it? There we go. Go back to our project folder. Gonna make a new folder. We're gonna call this for elements. And then we're gonna get trusty old Google. And let's try to Google a picture of the Earth. But just get this down here so I can see. Plenty of pictures of the Earth, but we're not gonna be crooks here. We're gonna do this the right way. So we're gonna go up here. Sorry, this is in Danish. This says tools, and I'm gonna go to user rights, and I can put this in maybe used with changes. So now I'm just getting pictures of the Earth where I'm allowed to where there is like this is basically public domain pictures, right? So this is pictures that I'm allowed to use without having someone coming after me later and suing me. And I can simply just filter that in Google imaging search. This is an awesome tool. And if you ever want to do your own YouTube videos, use that feature. But yeah, okay, Dongle there's no lighting problems. No, again, if I use set this setting here that may be used with changes, that means that I am allowed to use these images. These are public domain images now. If I haven't set this filter, then I could get into trouble. So that is why you need to use these filters, because otherwise you will get into trouble. And it can be annoying because sometimes you would see like a really good picture, but it's not public domain, and then you're just gonna set yourself up for a bad time. So we have a pretty high-res picture of the Earth here. That could work. I think I want something that's a little bit more vibrant. We could do that ourselves, but if we can find something that's already vibrant, like that one, for instance. It looks weird. This one, maybe. So you don't like this because it's too dark. This is also very vibrant. Oh, I like that. Oh, that looks great. There's a little bit of depth to it, but there's too much water. I'm very picky now, sorry. Just, that's too small. That is Google Earth. Don't want to use that. You know what, should we just take that? I guess we're gonna take that. Okay. This is gonna be the one we use. Gotta put that into elements. And just gonna, I'm just putting over the Earth screen, basically just dragging and dropping the picture over. Like so. And now we're gonna go and we're gonna do a little bit of editing on this. So we're gonna open up GIMP. Very useful tool. And then I'm just gonna do, because I don't want the black area, I just want the Earth. So we're just gonna put a selection box around it like so, and luckily this should be fairly round, I guess. So do that like so, copy that to a new layer, delete the old layer, boom, we have the Earth floating and with a transparent background. We can go ahead and we can export that, and we're going to export that as a PNG because JPEG does not support transparent backgrounds. So, and we're just going to call this for Earth,
PNG. And this is why we need to select it with modifications, because now we're doing modifications to the image. But that's okay, because we do have the user right to do that, because it's public domain stuff. There we go. Boom. This got changes. And we can delete the original picture now. So now we do the same thing. I want Saturn. We should be able to find a picture of Saturn. That one's pretty good. This one too. I like this one though. No, we're gonna go with that. And again, I have the same filters on. I still have my allowed to use this with modifications. We're basically gonna do the same thing. Saturn is of course a little bit more difficult because it has rings, but we might, since, oh, can we get away with this? Can this do like an elliptic kind of thing here? Maybe not. No. Okay. It seems that is not. Yeah, it can't do it on like that on an angle. So you know what? I'll just do this manually. Do that the old-fashioned way, and I'll just begin to take like small sections at a time. Oh, let's zoom out a little bit. Let's go over here and just begin slowly marking my way around the object that I want. Yeah, I could just turn the picture, but problem is when you begin to turn the picture and then turn it back later, then it you get a lot of artifacts. More artifacts than you need, at least. And this is, I mean, these kind of shapes are okay, since it's basically just an ellipse. This can take quite some time if you do it on something like the SRV, for instance. I did the thumbnail for the hill racing thing, where I had to sit out and cut out the SRV. That took that took quite a while. I think it took almost 15 minutes just sitting here pointing, and this should be over pretty soon, pretty quickly. We could maybe find a picture that that wasn't, where we didn't have to sit and do this, that maybe was already where this was already done. But I often find that it's when it's simple shapes like this, when it's something we can easily cut out, you're often better off just saying, okay, I'm just gonna sit and do this manually, because the time this takes to do, oh, does it even have an aurora? I didn't see that. The time this will take us to do compared to the time it would take us to find a good image with the right user rights and the right everything, that's gonna take a while. So just gonna copy this out, and I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to finish. As I said, probably not gonna be able to finish the edit today. Now we're getting here close to being done, I think. Yeah, almost there. Good. Here, this sharp turn, we're gonna be a little bit closer. We can begin to speed up again, and boom. Put that over a new layer, delete the original layer. We have Saturn there. Oh, should we? You know what? We should. Just because we don't have to, but it could be fun to do. I'm just going to do it like very rough here. Oh, hold on. I have an idea. Let's just finish that up and then deselect it. If I take the color selection tool and I put that down to a very low threshold, there's a chance I can just click there. Oh, not quite. It's damn close. Oh, no, I need the magic selection tool, not the color selection tool. Yeah, look at that. If I take that, delete that, Oh, from this layer. It takes that with it, the shadow, of course, of the planet. That's okay. We'll put that in again afterwards. There we go. And here we have. So basically, we're just gonna add that in. Yeah. Yeah, we could chroma key it, but again, as you can see, that's pretty much what we've been doing here. So I'm just going to take the pen tool, we're going to make it like that, we're going to increase it in size, and I'm just going to manually draw in that shadow again. And nobody will know. Well, I guess everybody will know because this is being live streamed to YouTube and everybody is watching it. There we go. Just make that a little bit less of a circle, like so, right? I think I actually want to just like so. Yeah, that looks okay to me. That's a wrap. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but can put a little bit of work into it. PNG, there we go. Export that, boom, done. Okay. Discard changes, that's okay. So now we have our picture of Saturn. We can delete the original image. We have Earth, we have Saturn. And they look awesome. Back to Google. Where's Google? There's Google. Can we get like an antenna icon? Parabol, what are they called? And we still have the user right. That's actually pretty good. I like that one. And it's already transparent. We just need to tilt that a little bit. We can work with this, I think. You know what? Let's try to work with this. Satellite dish. That's the name of it. Okay, I'm gonna make, hold on. Just gonna expand this a little bit. Give myself a little bit more room to work with here, like so. Just gonna cut out a section here. Gonna paste that to a new layer. So now we have that section of it on its own. So we can take this and we can rotate it like so, basically. And then maybe move it a little bit. Like so. Oh. We go to image, go to canvas, and expand that a little bit northward as well. Put this down here. Take this, place it like that. Then take this one, take our eraser, and erase just that part there. There we go. Now we just need to adjust the canvas size a bit. Size. There we go. Satellite dish PNG. Okay. And we're almost there. The last thing I need for this small animation is a like a Wi-Fi signal. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. This is perfect. And just clarifying, yes, we still have the filter on. And put that in there. Get the eraser. I don't want that dot down there, so let's just remove that. And export it as Wi-Fi PNG. Out you go. It's got changes. Okay, so now we have the elements that we need. Good evening, Commander Suruk. Okay, so now we have all the elements that we need for this small. How long is this section? Like 20 seconds or something. Okay. So I have 4 elements here, so we're gonna add, we're gonna take this one and we're going to, I can't see anything for the microphone here, minimize that. I'm gonna create 1, 2, 3, 4. And all of these are gonna be dragged down here, 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 and, oops, come on. And there, okay. Just gonna start at the top here. Putting in the Earth. Putting in Saturn. Gonna reposition this in a minute. Gonna put in the radar dish, which should be underneath the Earth, so it's Earth. And this one, you know what, actually, let's take this layer here, move that up so we can have the radar signal on top. Should this have been black? It probably shouldn't have been black. Probably should have made it white, to be honest. You know what? We're just gonna do that. Oh, cancel. Let's remove that. Get rid of that, and then change the color of it real quick. Should be pretty straightforward. Select by color. Bucket tool. Oops. No. Bucket tool. Where did the bucket tool go? There's the bucket tool. Boop, boop, boop. Is that a smidgen on the screen, or is it something else? Okay. There we go. Yes, replace. Discard changes. And pull that back in. Now we have it in white. Okay, let's begin to get these things in position. Gonna put the Earth. How big do we want this? Like that? I guess that's okay. Let's turn on Saturn. I guess that's okay. Should we just quickly compare to the position of the Earth? That's... yeah, I need to... because we're gonna have the radar on top, so I actually want this to be slightly higher.
Track motion. Oh, not rotating it. Put that like up there, like so.
If we take objects within our solar.
Okay. So we need the satellite dish. Again, microphone boom arm is in the way. Can't see what I'm doing. It is there. Maybe that shouldn't have been black either. Problem, maybe. Okay, let's see how it goes when it gets into position. We might be lucky here. I could use lucky. Yeah, you know what? We might actually just be able to put it up against the background of the galaxy there. And then still make it visible. Like so. And then you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go in here. We're gonna go to levels. We're gonna play around with this. So we're gonna make the black a little bit more gray. Like so. There we go. Okay, so now we have the section here. And again, I'm gonna do some stuff with the beginning here.
If we take objects within our.
Now, it does look like it basically pops in.
If we take objects. If we take objects within our solar system, a common.
Okay, a few things I want to do is I just want to put in keyframes here at the beginning, just to ensure. We need to move that microphone. Just to ensure that we don't, if we end up putting something in earlier, then we know we have this keyframed correctly. Okay.
If we take objects within our solar system, a common method is radar ranging. Basically, you take a big old radar dish, you bounce send a large.
So here we begin to talk about bouncing radio signals. So, God,
you bounce send a large.
Let's unmute that signal. Okay, let's begin to move this into the starting position. First of all, this is going to be a lot smaller. We will rotate this like so. I'm going to position that. Going to make it even smaller. I want to see if I can hide it behind the radar dish completely, like that. Yeah. Then this actually needs to be the lowest one as it was before. There we go.
Old radar dish, you bounce send a strong radio signal towards a planet. It will bounce off the planet and come back. You measure the time it takes the strong radio signal towards a planet. It will bounce off the planet and come back. You measure the time it takes the signal to go out there and come back again. And then you can, if you know the speed of light, then you can calculate how far away it is. So,
okay, so we need to figure out how quickly this needs to move. So next step is to add a keyframe there, and then begin to move this signal. Signal flies away. And it hits the planet there.
radar dish, you bounce send a large.
Okay. Then we're gonna make that go out there. Basically, I want to split that there. And then about the same time, how much is that? That is a little bit over 2 seconds. So 1 second, so about here, I guess. Gonna split that there as well. And at this position, it will be back again. Just gonna move this thing back.
into the dish again, like so.
You send a strong radio signal.
And then we're gonna go in here. And I'm gonna basically just flip this on its head. Like so. A bit more there. Like that. And again, it has, because I'm streaming, it has a little bit of a hard time actually doing this in real time. But if we just scrub through it, you can kind of get a feeling. Right? It basically just pop, pop, and then it goes back.
Basically, you take a big old radar dish, you send a strong radio signal towards a
Oh, a little bit of mistake there. You see that? There, it shows up at the other side of the dish, so we need to move that there. Okay, much better. Then it's just wait a few seconds and then send off another signal. Just gonna do this a few times over, so we have that that animation going back and forth a few times here while this is going on.
Signal.
So again, we're gonna go and zoom like this. I'm gonna give this about 2 seconds. So that means until there. You know what we can actually do? We can just take these two, copy those over here, and then have them not a little bit of a delay between them.
Radio signal towards a planet. It will bounce off the planet and come back. You measure the time it takes the signal to go out.
And then do it one more time, I guess, so we have the same animation over and over again. There we go.
Ranging. Basically, you take a big old radar dish, you send a strong radio signal towards a planet. It will bounce off the planet and come back. You measure the time it takes the signal to go out there and come back again. And then you can, if you know the speed of light, then you can calculate how far away it is. So this works well within our old solar.
And then just make sure these don't just pop out, but give them about a second fade.
So this works well within our old solar system, but obviously as soon as we move outside the solar system, it's gonna begin to be we're gonna begin to get into issues here.
Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's okay. I mean, I'm not as I said, I'm not a professional animator or anything like that. All the editing I know is self-taught from what I do on YouTube. And this kind of stuff is what I would do. This is okay. It's a little cartoonish, but it works. And if we wanted to, again, I don't want to render it now, but normally in a case like this, when I've done something like this, because there's so many things that moves around and stuff, the computer has a hard time doing it properly, so I would often just highlight this section, go up, and then render that section out so I could see it, how it comes out when it's rendered, to see how smooth things are moving and if it's okay. And then do that, and then I could move on. But I'll do that later. Save the project, and then we can move on. Okay. We can go. Oh, I should remember actually. Because I'm going to reuse these tracks later on probably. So, just open up all the tracks here, and we're going to put in a keyframe here at the end, ensuring that even if I begin to do stuff further down the line, I'm not going to mess up these, because they're keyframed at the beginning, at the end. That pretty much means
a strong radio.
Anything in between those two keyframes is going to stay the same no matter what I do, unless I come in and do keyframes in that interval.
Obviously, as soon as we move outside the solar system, it's going to begin to be we're going to begin to get into issues here. Because first of all, the object would be so far away that we'd have to wait like potentially like tens or hundreds of years before the signal come back, and by then it will be so weak that we can't really detect it anyway. We might be by then, but it's not going to help us a lot right now. So for close objects,
we're using a method called the parallax. You know this method intuitively. Basically, if you like hold out your finger and you close one eye and then you alternate between the two eyes, you will see your finger like kind of move according to the background. It's the same thing we're using here when we look at a star. We can take a picture of the star, look where it is according to the background star, so that would be like other galaxies or stars outside our own Milky Way. Then we're going to wait half a year, and by then the Earth would have moved.
Okay, so now we're going to get into the section where I begin to talk about parallax. So I want to do an animation of this. Yeah, so we already have the Earth, so I guess what we'll need is, hello Google, sun. So we're going to need a picture of the sun. That one will do. That one is actually pretty damn perfect. Was exactly what I had in mind, so I'll quickly go ahead and say thank you Google. For whoever put that up. This looks like in front of the Soho images, so it's probably from the NASA Soho thing. So guys, what program I'm using? I'm using Vegas Pro 16. So we'll need that. Then what else will I need? I will need a star kind of thing. This one will do. And we don't even have to edit that. We have to edit the sun, but that one we don't have to edit. There you go. And again, remember that when we're doing this, we always make sure that we have the correct filters that ensure that the pictures we're seeing, that's actually a pretty good picture, that one. I really like that one. Anyway, that the pictures that we're seeing are all pictures that are put into the public domain, so we can use them without getting our asses sued. Because we don't want that. Move with that one there. I guess we're just gonna do, I mean, I know I would like to have a lot of the small flares and stuff like that, but that would just take forever and it's gonna add very little to the context of the video, since we're not really talking about flares this time. So we're just gonna do it a little crude. That looks like the sun, right? Export that as whoops, sun PNG. Boom. Okay. And pull those in as well. Okay. Thinking. So what I want is, I basically want the sun. Let's begin to build it up, okay? So we can begin to look at this. So we want the sun somewhere. So let's expand this. Again, restore. When should we start here?
We're gonna begin to get into issues here. Because first of all, the object will be so far away that we'd have to wait like potentially like tens or hundreds of years before the signal come back, and by then it will be so weak that we can't really detect it anyway. We might be by then, but it's not going to help us a lot right now. So for close objects, we're using a method called the parallax.
Yeah, I'll put it there. And that's when I will begin to show the setup, and then we'll do the animation stuff later on. So we're going to put that there. We want to put in the picture we had of planet Earth, which is, there it is, disappeared for me for a second. Put that there. Boom. Boom. Fade in. And sun, I want you to be like in the middle, and I want you to be smaller. We're gonna be real small now because we're far away. Looking at far away objects, we're gonna put that there. And then same thing with the Earth here. That's gonna be way smaller, like so. Again, not to scale at all. And we're gonna put that out there. Yes.
Parallax. You know this method intuitively. Basically, if you like hold out your finger and you close one eye and then you alternate between the two eyes, you will see your finger like kind of move.
Okay. We also need the star that we're going to measure. Restore. Put that in there.
Parallax.
And of course we need this to be somewhere else. Gonna position the star like so.
You know this method intuitively. Basically, if you like hold out your finger and you close one eye and then you alternate between the two eyes, you will see your finger like kind of move according to the background. It's the same thing we're using here when we. You know this method intuitively. Basically, if you like hold out your finger and you close one eye and then you alternate between the two eyes, you will see your finger like kind of move according to the background. It's the same thing we're using here when we look at a star. We can take a picture of the star, look where it is according to the background star, so that.
Okay, yeah, maybe a little bit early on this. Oh, there we go. First crash of the night. Okay. That's gonna crash now, but I did save it pretty recently, so we can of course recover. This is why you save, and you save often. Any tips for improving your Premiere editing skills? Yeah, hands-on practice I think is the best advice I can give you. There are lots of good, especially for stuff like Premiere. There's a lot of good good guides and tutorials out there that you can use. But at the end of the day, there is really nothing that beats sitting down and doing it yourself. Now, it can of course be difficult to just no, don't recover. Just gonna open up the project file. That should be okay. Nothing of course beats doing it yourself, but as I said, you need a project, you need something to edit, of course. But it could be anything. It could just be something like take a camera, or just your phone for that matter, it doesn't matter, with you and take a walk in the park, do some shots, and then go back and edit it into a montage. That could be a place to start, just to get some hands-on practice with it. It depends, of course, where you are. I don't know what skill level you're at the moment. But that would be a good place to start. Okay, let's get this project opened up again. There we go. As you can see, I saved pretty recently, so we have everything. Exactly, casual content creators. That's why I'm not using Premiere. It's expensive, and it's a recurring thing you pay over and over again. I started out with some basically free software. Well, it was free software that I started out with. And then, as I began to get, the channel was beginning to generate a little bit of revenue that I could then upgrade to some better editing software. And I think
Vegas Pro has everything that I need, at least for now. I mean, you could even go with something like Vegas Studio, which is perfectly fine. It lacks some features that you get in Vegas Pro that you don't have in Vegas Studio, but I mean, if you want something cheap, there is, yeah, as I said, there's basically free software out there that you can use. That's pretty good. Method. And okay, if you want something that is like professional grade and that's free, go with DaVinci Resolve. It is a bitch to learn. It's very, very difficult to learn, but it is a professional software. It is pretty much up there with Premiere and After Effects and all those. It's a very good piece of software. I've been so used to the Vegas lineup of softwares that even though it would be nice to go over to something even more professional than what I'm using now, I don't think it would add a ton. And even though it would be for free, it would still be a ton of work to actually learn. So that's why I've just been sticking with the Vegas series.
Hell axe. You know this method intuitively. Basically, if you like hold out your finger and you close one eye and then you alternate between the two eyes, you will see your finger like kind of move according to the background. It's the same thing we're using here when we look at a star.
I think I want to move this all the way up here, actually.
It's the same thing we're using here when we look at a star.
What could be fun here in this section here, I think I will actually go out and I'll do that. Is I'll maybe tomorrow or something, I'll go down to the local park and I'll take my phone with me and I'll take a picture of a tree and then something in the background, and then I'll move like 2 meters to the side or something and take another picture of the tree and then put those in and then alternate between the two pictures so people kind of get the visual feeling of what it would be that I'm talking about here. But I obviously don't have those pictures now, so I'm not going to edit them in, but I guess you could get the idea. I would just take those two pictures and just alternate between them, so people can get the feeling of what I'm talking about. The video is about, the title is You Are the Center of the Universe, and I'm going to prove it to you. And I'm talking about the cosmology distance ladder and how distances are measured in the universe. And then finally, when we get to the end of the video, we're going to talk about how the Hubble sphere works and what and how that actually makes you, like you right now, your person right now is the center of the universe. It's basically a proof for that. So yeah, it's another sciencey videos. But these often take a lot longer to do. So here I'll probably put in something extra, but for now we're just gonna leave that blank until I get that footage. Same with the beginning here. We have a pretty long section here from like 14 seconds until what? So I have like 1.5 minutes here where there's nothing but a spinning galaxy. So I'm gonna put something else in here that's a little bit more interesting than just the spinning galaxy. But again, it's video that I don't have right now. It's video that I'll have to go out and get. I'll probably see if I can find something. Here's actually another trick I'm quickly going to show you. If you need video material for your if you need video material for your videos and you don't want to go out and buy expensive stock footage, you can see here I've just gone into YouTube here and I've searched for Galaxy. I can go in here to filters and I can then say Creative Commons. There we go. This Creative Commons, if that is enabled, then it is videos that people have uploaded saying you are allowed to to reuse these videos in your own. So that means we can take all of this stuff here and we can take whatever is in those and we are allowed to reuse this. So something like this would actually be good to put in at the beginning of the video. And it's just another way to get, there's a lot of stuff about Galaxy phones, but it's another good way to get stuff that you can use in your videos without having to go and pay for expensive stock video on these stock video sites. Selection, of course, is limited, but because it's uploaded as a Creative Commons, that means that you should be okay using it. At least I would hope so. So, okay.
we are gonna need, okay, so here's what I want. Now we have this set up, and basically what we're talking about is, so the way the parallax work is you have a star out here and we are down here. So we take a picture of the star, we look at the star, we look at how it is compared to the background. Then we wait half a year, so we are on the opposite side, and we take a picture again of the same star. And then we see how it moved according to the background. Because of course we have moved, the star hasn't, but we have. But I want like a line starting here and then beginning to like expand up to the star, through the star, and continue out the here. And I don't want it to just fade in. I want it to be like a dotted line that kind of appears a little bit at a time. So I'll have to figure out how I do that. Yes. How do we do that? Okay. Let's start by doing the animation of the Earth moving.
Kind of move according to the background. It's the same thing we're using here when we look at a star. We can take a picture of the star, look where it is according to the background star, so that would be like other galaxies or stars outside our own Milky Way. Then we're going to wait half a year. Then we're going to wait half.
Okay, so here's, oh, not there. Not that one. Go away. Oh, did I mess something up now? Please tell me I didn't. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, it was this one here.
Then we're going to wait half a year, and by then the Earth would have moved around the other side of the sun. And if we then measure it again, we'll see that that star should then have moved according to the background stars, which we assume to be static. And then based on how much it moved, we can measure that angle, and then based on that we can then...
Okay, so we're gonna figure out how we're gonna make that rotate, and I'm actually not sure how I'm gonna do that, but I'll figure something out, I hope. Yeah, producing the line is fairly straightforward. That's not the issue. The issue here is, can I enable rotation? Basically, what I want is I want this to not rotate around its own center. Nope. Because easiest way would be to just say, okay, Earth moves and it moves over here, and then have that move in behind the sun, come out on the other side. And that would work. I mean, it would get the effect, right? So
our own Milky Way. Then we're going to wait half a year, and by then the Earth would...
But what I would much rather like it to do is I want it to move up in a circle like this, and then come down over here. Now again, this is where my editing skills are really gonna be on trial, because again, I'm not very good at this kind of stuff. I'm not sure. So what I was thinking was, can I detach the rotation center from an object? So if I Vegas Pro rotate not center. Oh, could we just... Oh, hold on, I have an idea. I think I have an idea. What if we... Oh, no. Gonna undo this logging of aspect ratio. Then I'm just gonna expand this out so this becomes quite... Okay, that is as big as it will go. And then we're gonna expand this again. When this rotates now, oh, look at that. Look at that, guys. Okay, I think this is gonna work. Have I ever considered collaborating with Scott Manley? It could be fun, but I mean, we do have an overlap, I think, in the stuff that we talk about. I don't know if he would be interested, but if he wants to, that could be fun. Okay, this is a really a hacky way to do this, but I think it's gonna work. So where do we need
seas or stars outside our own Milky Way? Then we're gonna wait half a year.
Wait half a year. Oh, no. God damn it. Put in a keyframe there. And then a keyframe, what's the intervals here? 5 seconds. Now it's 1 second. Give it a second to do that. Animation, and then we're gonna flip it around. Like so. And this should give us...
Then we're gonna wait half a year.
Ha! Apart from the fact that it rotated the wrong way.
Then we're going to wait half a year, and by then the Earth would have moved around the other side of the sun.
It was a little bit fast, I think, but a little bit slower.
Then we're going to wait half a year, and by then the Earth would have moved around the other side of the sun. And
the only problem is now that the Earth is also like flipping it while it's doing this.
Then we're going to wait half a year, and by then the Earth would have moved around the other side of the sun. And if we then measure it again, we'll see that that star should then have moved according to the background stars, which we assume.
Okay. If I were doing this properly and I could make that curve, I don't know how to make a track on a curve. Can we? I don't think I have any options to like draw a curve or anything like that. No one will notice. No, probably not. Okay.
Then we're going to wait half a year, and by then the Earth would have moved around the other side of the sun. And if we then measure it again, we'll see that that star should then have moved according to the background stars, which we assume to be static. And then based on how much it moved, we can measure that angle, and then based on that, we can then calculate how far away it is. This method is useful.
Okay, so here's some editing we need to do again, but I think I want to fade it out around here. Then we're pretty much done with this animation, so this is where I'm gonna cut that one off. Now comes the interesting part. They will now, yeah, exactly, people will now, it's okay. I mean, one thing that I've learned, I've been doing this for what, 4 years now. It is, sometimes it's just important to say to yourself, this is okay, and move on. Because
If you want to get every single detail perfect, then you're not going to upload multiple times a week, unless you're doing this full time. So it's okay that there are small things that are not perfect in your videos. Just move on and get it done. If you want to have like perfect, where you spend your time to do that animation properly, then video comes out every other week, or maybe only once a week if you got really good at it at the end. It's always the argument whether do you want to produce many videos with a slightly lower production value, or do you want to produce more videos with we don't produce more videos with a lower production value, or fewer videos that are really high quality. Those kind of, personally, I prefer to do like the small, quick, something I could do in an afternoon or a weekend kind of project. So that's why I try to keep it in that scale. Okay, then we're gonna wait half a year, and by then the I like that. That's a really cool effect. Okay, next up, we need those lines. How do we do that? I could start by just making a dotted line. That would be a good place to start. Or could we just say, is there any reason why we have to invent this ourselves? So again, should we have the right user rights? Or we could just steal that dotted line there. It's a little low res. Can we get something bigger? Otherwise, I will have to do it myself. Okay, there's nothing here really that's. I mean, this is okay, but I want something bigger. We'll do it ourselves. See if we can't figure out a way to make a dotted line. Let's get GIMP. Does GIMP have this built in? Maybe. You just search. Hold on. Let me see here. Oh, hold on. Maybe the draw tool actually has it. No. Okay, let's start by making a new. Let's make this like, I don't know, width 20, height 400. That's probably okay. I want it to be a little bit longer actually, so we're gonna go image and we're gonna go canvas size, and we're gonna make it 600, 6.6600. There we go. And then delete the background layer like so. Okay. Roku says, great fan of your videos. Great to see the behind the scenes. What's a good video editing software program? Movie Maker doesn't work very well for me. No. Okay, so if you moved out of Movie Maker, there's a few options. Because I tried Movie Maker, not a huge fan. I don't like it. There's something called DCSV Free Video Editor. DVSC. Nah, can't remember what the name of it was. Ah yeah, here it was. VSDC Free Video Editor. I'm gonna post it in that one also posting it on Twitch here. VSDC was the first software that I moved to. That was the one I started with. It's not perfect, but it's a place to get you started, right? It's free, and it's a good place to start if you just want to get into it without investing into expensive software. What I moved on to was Vegas. I think it was called Vegas Movie Maker. What was it called? Vegas Studio. Hold on. Was it called Vegas Studio? Yeah, here it is. Okay, look at this. So I started with VDSC, then I moved over to this one, Vegas Movie Studio. So it was something with Movie Studio 16 here. And they have the basic one. They have a premium one that has slightly more features. I guess you can scroll down and see what features the different one has. No, you can't. But at least the basic one, which will get you started. This is definitely a bump up compared to VSDC. This one is $50. That's not expensive, and you can upgrade to premium if you want to spend a little bit more, or you can go with the suite, which is the high-end version of the studio, right? The movie studio one, right? Where you're up at 120. Now, if you want to upgrade even further, then I would go with Vegas Pro Edit, which you can see comes in at slightly more expensive. And if you then want to upgrade that again, then you can go to Vegas Pro there, which is at $300. So you can see that's why I like the Vegas lineup, because first of all, Vegas one-time payment. You pay for it once, you have that version of the software. They do come out with new versions. You see, this is version 16 they're on right now. So they do come out with updated versions. You will have to buy upgrades, but you can see here buying an upgrade is a little bit cheaper. Not a lot, but it is slightly cheaper. But they have everything from like if you just want to get started, $50, like $50, and you have a place to start. And the good thing is, as you upgrade to better and better software, the interface is pretty much the same. There are slight changes, but the shortcuts, the keyboard shortcuts, and the interface is the same. So you don't have to relearn a new interface, new shortcuts, new where everything is moved. It's almost the same. What it does is it just enables more features for you. It just gives you more tools to work with. Which is why I think that personally, that the Vegas lineup is a great choice, because you have everything from like, I just want to get started, all the way up to like, I need everything, right? We even have the production, but I think these are like outrageously expensive. The Pro Suite here, you can see up to 400. So we have a pretty wide range. That's why I really like the Vegas lineup. That's what I've been going with. Yeah. Exactly as Dongerol says, the fact that you don't, that the interface stays the same, the shortcut stays the same, that has value in itself. That you don't have to spend time and energy to relearn it. And one other very important thing is, like, the files are that they use different file formats, the different versions. But I could take, for instance, if I go in and find an old video here, let's find something old, like what is old? Like I have something back here from the 2.4. Where's the project? Yeah, here you can see it. Here's the project file. This back then I was using the Vegas. What is it? Vegas movie? No, I can't remember. Vegas, the cheap one. One of the cheap ones. Movie Studio, and they use project file, virtual project file thing it is. I don't know, or video project files maybe even. Whereas the ones I use now use like just .vac files, so it's slightly different. But I can still take this file from the older versions of this software and import it in, and it will be able to read the file, and I can then save it in the new file format. That means that all the project files that I already have, like the one that builds my my outro here, and my templates. You know, I have all these templates. For both when I do this, like where I start with this, I had templates for Hello Dave, I had templates for everything. I could just take those templates, import it into the upgraded version that I bought, and I can see something's messed up here. Hold on, move over there. Import it into the upgraded version and save it in the new format. Done. So easy. Yeah, a bit like Microsoft Office. Actually, Silverdragon, that's a perfect analogy. That you had the old doc files and you had .x files now, which you just talk Word, right? So you could take the old files that didn't have all the features, but you could import it into the new version, save it in the new format, and you would then enable some of the new features. That's why I think Vegas is a really, really good option. Because it has a upgrade path for you. And you don't have to, when you upgrade, to learn a new interface, to learn something completely new. And it's compatible with some of the older stuff that you had. So you don't lose your old, you don't have to have 2 editors installed if you need to access your old projects. You can still do that. Awesome stuff. Okay. Hello, Knight, and thanks for the rating party over on Twitch. Okay, let's continue this stuff. Then we're gonna wait half a year. We were about to build a dotted line somehow, and I never really figured out. There was a written guide. I couldn't be bothered reading it. I don't know how we're gonna do this. Come on, Google. There must be some easy way to do a dotted line. Choose a color for the line, for the change font color. Select the path tool. Path tool? What is the path tool? Path tool? So if I create a path from here to here, yeah. Right click on the line and choose edit, and then click stroke path. Right click, edit. Maybe I should actually have a layer. Yeah, click stroke path, and then what? Click solid color. Yeah, we've done that. Then click line style. What? I think that make it white to... Okay, I think we're getting there. Oh, just get chat back. I can't see chat right now. Affiliate photo? I might... I don't know. Hold on. Where was it? Stroke path, solid color, pattern, no. Ah, line style, there it is. And then what? And then we should be, custom.
here we go. That's a dotted line, isn't it? Let's go try that again. I think I want them a little bit tighter. And I don't want it as fuzzy around the edges, so we're going to use this one instead. Then stroke path, this, and then do this, and this, and this. And now I have learned, so I need to go here, go solid color, go there. Oh, we could draw here. Okay, hold on. Yeah, that's more like it. I like that one. Oh, hold on. We need to put it into the right folder. Ah. Nice. It has DaVinci Resolve. That DaVinci Resolve is a whole nother beast. It's difficult. I tried it because I thought, that could be a nice upgrade path. That was when I decided to buy. I was considering buying Vegas Pro, and I thought, DaVinci Resolve is free. I'll give it a go. And I don't know, it was just not for me. Elites, science of elites, center, blah blah blah, elements. Need that to go in there. Oh, not caps. Okay. Now we have a line. This will work. So now we need to actually have that thing appear as we need it to. Okay.
Wait. Then we're going to wait half a year, and by then the Earth would have moved around the other side of the sun. And if we then measure it again.
Okay. So this is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna create another layer. I'll put that there. And did I closed the folder again? I'm an idiot. Science of elite, there, elements, line, import line. There we go. Okay, good. Put that there. We have a dotted line. Perfect.
Background star, so that would be like.
So where do we want this to appear first?
Take a picture of the star, look where it is according to the background star, so that would be like other galaxies or stars. The background stars, look where.
Gotta have it start here.
Look where.
Then we're gonna need to do some tracking motion on this, so we have this positioned correctly. Guess. I'm gonna put this below everything here. Like there. Yes, that's good. No, I just put it up there. That's better. So now we have that there. Continue that out there. We'll figure out the how to make it appear later. I have an idea, but give me a second.
Actually, you know what? We can. I'm just gonna move the microphone a little bit. We can take all these and we can minimize these now. We don't need those. They are pretty much where we want them to be. Gonna create another layer. Gonna put that there. And we're also gonna put the line in there. Like galaxies or stars outside our own Milky Way. Then we're gonna wait half a year, and by then the Earth would have moved around the other side of the sun. And if we then measure it again, we will see that that star should then measure it again. So about there, that should begin to appear. And we're gonna go track this one. Flip that the other way around. That's not enough. So close. There we go. Make sure that doesn't move, like so. Take a picture of the star, look where it is according to the background. Take a picture of the star, look. Okay. So right now, this is just like popping in. Take a picture of the star, look where. But I want it to like appear a little bit at a time. So this is a really bad idea. We gotta mask it. Gotta put that in there. We gotta go back here to generate media, solid color. We're gonna generate a solid white. On top of that. Like other galaxies. Okay, so now we have a solid white. Then we're gonna have to move that so that it moves. Let's try this. What happens if I go... I'll take this track here and I will go and say this is a composite child. So you can now see out here that this is now nested under the white layer. Then I'm gonna go to this one here and we're gonna go to mask generator and say you are now a mask. Like so. And this one is then gonna say the composite mode is not source alpha, it is multiply. Boom. And now, when we go into this layer and we use the track motion and move this around, it does nothing. What happens if I go into the... Oh, hold on. If I go into the mask here and I invert it, it disappears. If I then go to track motion and remove it, yeah, look at that. Now I can make it go, so I can just... Yeah. Whee! Perfect. This is what we want, right? And to make this even better, we're just gonna rotate this like so. So that when we move this, it actually like moves as it should. Okay. Perfect. This is perfect. So look where it is according to the back. The starting position is there, where nothing is shown. And then at some point it moves out to there, where everything is shown. So now... of the star, look where it is according to the background star, so that would be like other galaxies or stars outside our own Milky Way. Then we're gonna wait of the star, look where it is according to the background star, so that would be like other galaxies or stars outside our own Milky Way. Then we're gonna wait half a year, and by then the Earth would have moved around the other side of the sun. And if we then measure it again, we'll... That worked.
Now we can minimize these two. Go back to project media here. And we're gonna go down here. We're gonna create yet another layer. Layers, small layers, boom. No, it doesn't need to stop at the star. The whole point is that we can actually see the background stars.
Star, look where it is according to the background star, so that would be like other galaxies or stars outside our own Milky Way. Then we're going to wait half a year, and by then the Earth would have moved around the other side of the sun. And if we then measure it again, we'll see that that's...
Okay, we clearly haven't done the masking over here yet. Make composite child. Mask generator, boom, and we're gonna invert that, boom, like so. And this one, track motion, gotta again tilt that, and we're gonna move. Oh, hold on. Composite mode there, and then we go to track motion. And to ensure that nothing is shown.
Then measure it again, we'll see that that's...
Oh, we should actually see how much time we gave this, so it's about the same. Doesn't have to be perfect, but that's about the same. There we go.
Side of the sun, and if we then measure it again, we'll see that that star should then have moved according to the background stars, which we assume to be static. And then based on how much it moved, we can measure that angle, and then based on that we can then calculate how far away it is.
And the Earth, where's my Earth? It's there. Restore. We forgot to give that a fade. Yeah, it is basically angle calculations. That's how we measure.
And if we then measure it again, we'll see that that star should then have moved according to the background stars, which we assume to be static. And then based on how much it moved, we can measure that angle, and then based on that we can then calculate how far away it is. This method is...
Okay, we gotta finish this section up. As the help being drunk.
It is. This method is useful out to 15, 16,000 light years. So if we take a look at the Milky Way, kind of gives us...
Okay, next. God damn it. Okay.
It is. This method is useful out to...
Okay, let's begin to minimize some of these again. Because now we're done with all this. Minimize, minimize. Hold on, I should check that I've actually set... Oh, I haven't set endpoints on these. Oh, no. I did a bad thing. There we go. Yeah, make sure I have keyframes at the end of all of these. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be happy at the end when I realize I've made a big mistake. So all of these need keyframes here, here, there we go. Okay. Minimize, 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 minimize all the stuff. So we can begin to move on. Okay. That was... I mean, we're 3.5 minutes into the video. It's not bad.
Star, and we can take a picture of the star, look where it is according to the background star, so that would be like...
Okay, so now, next up, and this is actually quite funny. Now we can... I'm just going to do one more thing. The next section we come into, I talk about the range that this is available at.
Good thing is that I want to use the Elite Dangerous. I want to use a map of the Elite Dangerous Galaxy. So if I just Google Elite Dangerous Galaxy map, like this one. The good thing about this is, as long as I use stuff from Elite, I don't have to go up. If I go up on here, use this, it's probably not listed. No, it's not, right? But because this is stuff directly from Elite, I know that it's okay to use, because whoever uploaded this has taken it from Elite, I guess. I don't know if this is actually the Elite Dangerous map or if it is not. But in most cases, let's say I needed a picture of a specific ship. Let's say I needed a picture of a Python. Even though many of these pictures will not have been uploaded with the tag that they are a public domain, and they're not public domain because these designs are owned by Frontier. But since I know Frontier doesn't, they own the design, so they are the ones having user rights for these pictures, even though it might be someone else who's taken it. I can still use them. Of course, if it's something if it's just like a generic picture of a Python, then I'll just like take it and use it. But if it's something more specific, like if it's a picture of a specific planet, or if it's a picture that someone has clearly done, I would try to get a hold of, if I can figure out who took it, get a hold of them and said, hey, can I use that picture? Even though I legally wouldn't have to, I still try to do it if that's the case. Exactly, it's the same as, I think it's actually might be from EDSM. I really like this one though. Look at that, that's really cool. Okay, let's go back. I really wish this was higher resolution. That would have been perfect. This one is okay. What does it actually say on this picture? Where is it even from? It's from Reddit. Is that it? That's the size? Okay, it's actually okay. Okay, so there's a lot of text around the corners. This should be good enough, I think. So this should be okay, I think. Let's see what size it is. About 1,000 by 1,000. And it's a square. I have to remember that this is going to be rendered at 1080. So it will only be 1080 high. So we pretty much have 100 pixels. So if we have a 50 pixel board on either side, then it will be, we won't even have to scale it. So they should be okay. But what I want to do is I want to get rid of this text around the corners. I want to leave all the regions in there. That's pretty cool. But all the other stuff here, I want to get rid of. And the way we're going to do that is take the cloning tool. I'm going to put that there. I'm just going to begin drawing here. And you can see here how we preserve the lines without, oh, a little bit too far there. We kind of preserve the lines and it's almost not noticeable. Nope, not a black pencil. I don't know if it shows up on stream, but you can see here that the lines are still there. The grid lines are still there. And that's what I want. I don't want to just put in a black pencil. I'll show you why. Look at this. If I just took like and said, okay, I want this to be gone, take that, take a bucket tool, fill it in with a black square. New layer. There, boom, fill it in. That is visible. You can see that black square. I don't know if it shows up on stream, but if I zoom in on it, it's very obvious what's going on here, right? Because it's not black. Exactly, the black will stick out on the sore thumb. Look at it compared to this corner here. I mean, if you zoom in and you really look at it closely, yeah, you can see that cross there. It doesn't line up as it should. I don't know if that's probably doesn't show up because the camera's in the way. I'll move that over there. You can see that doesn't perfectly line up, but when we zoom out, that's good enough. That black square there, that's like a sore thumb. So we're not going to do that. We're going to use the clone tool. And we're going to use... I already have... Oh, God. You're right, Donglor. No one's going to look for the lines, but they are going to notice if there's like a huge black square in the corner. So that's why we're doing this. So we're going to put that thing there. Oh. And because there's a little bit of texture in the picture here, when we get that over here, it just looks a lot more natural. Yes, I upload in 1080p. And then we just need this tiny one up here. This one we might actually be able to get away with just using, because that's basically nothing. So you're just gonna like that. Gone. Okay. Now the next step that I want to do is we need to figure out, what did I say in the video? 16,000 light years. So if we take a look at the Milky Way, is useful out to 16,000. Okay, 16,000 light years. How far is that? How far is that? What's the distance to the center of the center of the galaxy? That's 23, right? So we say 5, 10, 15, 20, 26 to second. Okay, so these lines here are actually pretty helpful. You can see this line here. This is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and we have the galactic core in there. So these lines represent 5,000 light years. And I said it was 15, 16 in the video, I think. It's useful out to 15, 16,000. Perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our circular selection tool. 15, that's that circle there. So this one, and there, and there. I'm going to take that circular selection and put that there. So now we have that as a separate layer. And what I'm then going to do is I'm going to make a new layer here. I'm going to call that black. And if we just show that layer only, I'm going to color that in all black. Like so. Showing all the other layers. Then I'm going to take this outer layer, this layer here, and I'm going to reduce the transparency of it, or the opacity. Look at this. I think this is looking... I'm not sure if this will look good. Okay, it doesn't look as good as I've hoped. Yeah, editing is like onions. Layers, layers, more layers. Okay, this doesn't look as good as I've hoped it would. What can we do to make this stand out a little bit more? I still like to make this like slightly darker. Not a lot, but just like that. It is a little... I agree. Okay, you know what? We're gonna try to put like a glow around this area. I don't know if that will work. But I'll make a new layer here. I'll call this one glow. Don't know if it will work. So I'll take this one, do like that, go to this layer, basically reselect that circle there. Then we're gonna go up to our selection. We're gonna grow that selection by 50 pixels. So it's becomes a lot bigger. And then we're gonna feather it. No, hold on, that's not right. That's way too big. Let me redo that. We're gonna grow it by 25 pixels. Yeah, that's better. And we're gonna feather it by 50. And then we're gonna take a white bucket here. And we're gonna go to the glow layer, put that in there. What if I go to this one and fiddle around a little bit with the levels in this one? Like brighten this the hell up. Like so. It's still meh, I think. I don't know. Yes, what I'm trying to do, I don't know. I want to try and highlight this area somehow, but I don't know how yet. Right now I'm just playing around with it to see what looks good. Yeah, I could do a red circle, but meh. Okay, I didn't like the glow, wasn't too good either. What if I kept this where it was before? I put this thing here back to 100. And then just really played a lot with the levels on this one. That could also be an option. So it's already been staggered here because I've already adjusted the levels once, but we can... A red glow. This is better. This is getting somewhere now. We can try with another color glow, I guess. Should we try another glow? Selection. Glow at 25. Oh, make it slightly less, maybe. Hold on. Oh, no. No. So what if I just grow this by, let's say, 10? So just have a very faint one. And then, oops, that's way too much feathering. And feather that a little bit. And then take like a bright red one. And then fill that into the glow layer. And I could actually even make the red layer here slightly transparent, so it's not as dominant. What do you think? We're getting somewhere. Ah, that's a good. Oh, okay. I like that idea. Hold on. Okay, so let's try that. Gonna get rid of that. No, I'm not. Hold on. I'm gonna. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there, and I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go copy. Gonna post that to a new layer. Gonna delete this layer. Boom. So now we have that same as the one outside, but what was suggested here, that's actually may actually work. If I go in here, go to colors and go to brightness and contrast. No, I need the saturations. Color balance. No. Ugh, where is it? Is it hue? Hue and saturations. What? And I just drop the saturation down like that. I still think this is too dark, this area here. I'm gonna duplicate the layer. Just so we have a spare one in case we need to reset it. I just want a little bit. Just a little bit. Just like Just like that. So it's a little bit lighter. We can get rid of the black layer now. We don't need that. You know what? I think I like this one. This is actually okay. You know what? We're gonna go with this. Good input. We're just for good measures, we're gonna save this project file because if I change my mind later, I want to be able to go back to this. Don't say I had a good idea. It was a good idea. Let's export that as PNG. Go. Be gone. Nice. Okay, let's try to plug that into the video and see how it works. And it's not even called map, it's called GalMao. GalMap. There we go. What time is it? Oh, it's midnight. Nice. I should probably go there. Okay, so we're gonna plug that into just the top one there. 16,000 light years is useful. And again, can't see anything for the microphone boom arm here. Restore. Okay, so where are we at here? Method is the way it is. This method is useful out to 16,000 light years. So if we take a look at the Milky Way, fade that in. And add a keyframe. And so, where do we want this? A lot bigger, I guess. So something like that. A little bit bigger, maybe. We have about the same border on top and on bottom. Take a look at the Milky Way. That kind of gives us a just over halfway to the center of the Milky Way. That's kind of like our own small corner of the galaxy. This is where this method is useful. But for things far away, we don't really have the accuracy to measure that accurately enough. But of course.
Okay. I'm not gonna be able to finish this tonight. It's very rare that these Science of Elite videos are being done in one evening, because they just take so long to edit. I think this worked out pretty well.
That accurately enough. But of course, that we didn't need to measure things further away in our galaxy. What we use is called standard candles. A standard candle is an object that we know the luminosity of. That means we know how much light it's emitting, and we then use the inverse square law to basically calculate how far away it is by looking at how bright we are seeing it. So it's quite simple. I mean, if you imagine you have a lamp, if you stand close to the lamp and look at it, it's very.
Okay, so next section here, we're going to talk about standard candles. And okay, my point is, we're about 4 minutes into the video. We are not halfway there. And there's still stuff missing at the beginning, there's stuff missing in here, there's stuff missing everywhere. Okay, so, So in the next section, I'm going to talk about standard candles. It's pretty intuitive what it is. I mean, a standard, it's basically, if you look at if you have a star and you know how bright it is, you know how much light it's emitting. Then you look at how bright it is, and then you can calculate based on how bright you see it, and you know how much light it sends out, then you can calculate how far away it is. So I guess we're going to do something with like a lamp pointing at the person looking, and we're going to do something with making it very bright and then making it less bright and something. I don't know. I'll figure something out here. Let's start by finding a lamp.
It's quite simple. I mean, if you imagine you have a lamp, if you stand close to the lamp and look at it, it's very, very bright. But if you walk far away from it, it's not as bright. So the further.
Let's find a lamp. Rogi, thanks a lot for dropping by. It was great. What are we even gonna search? Light to the face. Lamp shining at camera. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Can we do something else? Hold on, let's see. Oh, hold on, you can't see this. Ha! I have never used this before, but Vegas has a built-in like fill light flare. Maybe we should try to plug that in. Ooh.
How far away it is by looking at how bright we are seeing it. So it's quite simple. I mean, if you imagine you have a lamp, if you stand close to the lamp and look at it, it's very, very bright. But it's quite simple. I mean,
this effect might work. Flare type. Ah. Flashlight LED. Not blue. Sun glare. Oh yeah, we can use this. Gonna move that there, and then we can play around with the intensity. Look at that. This is what we want. This is perfect. What is this? What does this one do? No idea. Scale. Oh, that's how big it is. We could just use this and just have that come in like this. Hold on, this should work.
It's quite simple. I mean, it's quite simple. I mean, if you imagine you have a lamp, if you stand close to the lamp and look at it, it's very, very bright. But if you walk far away from it.
Okay, so now we just need to animate that thing dimming. And basically this effect, now we need pen and paper, because now the timestamps are offset, which is wonderful. So this effect starts at 4 minutes, 17 seconds and 51 hundredths. So where do we want this to actually...
It's quite simple. I mean, if you imagine you have a lamp, if you stand close to the lamp and look at it, it's very, very bright. But if you walk far away from...
So I want the effect to start here. So that is about 5 seconds in. So if I go in here and I go animate, and we then move this about 5 seconds. Can we zoom in? 5 seconds is there. Add a note, and then reduce the intensity. No, hold on. No, that's not right. We're gonna add a note there, and then we're gonna give it a second, I guess. So to 6 seconds. And we're gonna add a note there, and we're gonna reduce the stop that. There we go. Gonna reduce the intensity. And now we have multiple notes, so we could delete that note. Basically just animated this being... Maybe not to 0, but down like that. How does this look?
Bright, but if you walk far away from it, it's not as bright. So the further away...
It can be a little less bright, I think.
Have a lamp, if you stand close to the lamp and look at it, it's very, very bright. But if you walk far away from it, it's not as bright. So the further have a lamp, if you stand close to the lamp and look at it, it's very, very bright. But if you walk far away from it, it's not as bright. So the further away it is, the more faint it should be. So we need to find objects where we know the luminosity. And in many cases, we can determine it by the color of the star. It should be.
I just fade this one out at the end, I guess. It served its purpose. That worked out quite well.
So it's quite simple. I mean, if you imagine you have a lamp, if you stand close to the lamp and look at it, it's very, very bright. But if you walk far away from it, it's not as bright. So the further away it is, the more faint it should be. So we need to find objects where we know the luminosity. And in many cases, we can determine it by the color of the star, if you're looking at single stars at least. And if you've seen some of the previous...
Just gonna get rid of some pauses there.
And if you've seen some of the previous Science of Lead videos, you'll see this HR diagram. It's...
Okay, time to show the HR diagram again. I've shown this thing a million times in these videos, but... let's just take the death of a star. I should have an HR... What is RGB? Oh, okay. Don't know. That's a mask for something. Helptone Russell star data. Let's go to project media. Actually, let's just take a copy of it so that we have it in the project folder as well. Drag it in. Pop that in on the timeline.
Diagram. It's perfect. Diagram. It's perfect for many things. And when we...
And we just need to find a good place for this. So where do we want this to be positioned? In the frame, I guess. There's pretty good.
See this HR diagram, it's perfect for many things. And what we can see in this is we can see the relation between the temperature and thereby the color of the star and its luminosity, depending on where it is in its life cycle. So if we can look at the color of the star and
okay, a little bit of cutting here as well. Let's just get that split there. That split there again. Don't have to be too accurate about this. You can just
and then determine this in its life cycle. If we can look at the color of the star and we can then determine.
Could I do this a little bit tighter? If I do like that, maybe.
Life cycle. If we can look at the color of the star and we can then determine by the color which type of star it is, what big it is, then we can see the luminosity. We know how much light it should emit, and then we can see how faint or how bright we see it, and based on that we can kind of calculate a guesstimate of how far it is. But of course this requires us to be able to see individual stars life cycle. If we can of how far it is. But of course this requires us to be able to see individual stars, meaning that this is useful within our own Milky Way pretty much. So anything within our own Milky Way, we can use this method to kind of get an idea of distances. But it requires that we know what type of object it is that we're looking at. Otherwise, of course, we can't make that assumption that we can calculate the luminosity from its color. But again, this also
get more cutting here. Okay.
This also works for other objects. Like for instance, if we look at a supernova explosion, these are so powerful that even if they happen in another galaxy, the light emitted from an explosion like that will completely outpower all the stars in the galaxy. It will be magnitude brighter. So it can be assumed, and especially if we know the brightness of the galaxy beforehand, then a supernova explosion happens, then we know the brightness of the galaxy during the explosion.
Okay, now I want to play around a lot more with this new flare effect. Or new is it's been there all the time. I have an idea. Oh, is the Hubble deep field, is that public domain? I think I need to do a specific search for this. Yes, look at that. And ESA. And may be freely used as it is the public domain. Wonderful. Thank you, NASA. I like you. Not just because you put your pictures in the public domain, but also because of all the other cool stuff that you do.
And based on that, we can kind of calculate a guesstimate of how. Make that assumption that we can calculate the luminosity from its color. This also works for other objects. Like for instance, if we look at a supernova explosion, these are so powerful that even if they happen in another galaxy.
Okay, here I think it's a good time to get in the Hubble deep field. Gotta figure out again, like about that size there.
Another galaxy. another galaxy. The light emitted from an these are so powerful that even if they happen in another galaxy, the light emitted from an explosion like that will completely outpower all the stars in the galaxy. It will be magnitude brighter, so it can be assumed, and especially
okay. Sorry. People ask what language my Google is in. It's in Danish. Sorry.
all the stars in the galaxy, it will be magnitude brighter. Explosion like.
Okay, let's go back to. Oh, I'm over. Forgot to move the camera. Okay, back to project media. No, to generate media. We're gonna pull in another of these flare events. You were pretty cool last time. And then I'm gonna move myself back in the corner where I'm not in the way. There we go. Okay, so
galaxy, the light emitted from an explosion like that will completely outpower.
I like this one.
All the stars in the galaxy.
Now we just need to find a good galaxy that we want to. So I guess we're gonna pick a galaxy just like there. I should take that one specific one. I'm gonna put it in that cluster there. And then we're gonna animate again this. We're gonna start it out on 0, and then we're gonna give it a second, keyframe it, and then how bright do we want it to be? It was a little too bright before, I think. And that is too much, right? But something like that is actually a little bit too much, maybe. Like that. How does that look?
The light emitted from an explosion like that will completely outpower all the stars in the galaxy. It will be magnitude brighter, so it can be assumed, and especially if we know the brightness of the galaxy beforehand, then a supernova explosion happens. Then we know the brightness of the galaxy during the explosion. We can then basically subtract the light that was from the galaxy before, assuming that that's constant, and then we can see how much extra light was emitted from the supernova explosion. And since we know how much light they should emit, we can use the same method to kind of look how bright. We can then...
Oh, hold on. There's something up here with this event. Default length is 10 minutes, so it doesn't repeat.
We can then basically subtract the light that was from the galaxy before, assuming that that's constant, and then we can see how much extra light was emitted from the supernova explosion. And since we know how much light they should emit, we can use the same method to kind of look how bright do we see the supernova, and then we can calculate the distance to the galaxy. But of course, we can't...
Oh, that was a small...
We can't...
There it is.
Of course, we can't do that if there's not a supernova explosion, and these are rare. And sitting around waiting for it, if you want to know the distance to a specific galaxy, well, that could take years. Potentially it might never happen if there's not a supernova explosion, and these are rare.
Okay, I think we're gonna fake this out over here.
Do that if there's not a supernova explosion, and these are rare.
Oh, could we? Oh, I have an even better idea. If I just fake that one out.
That if there's not a supernova explosion, and these are rare. And sitting around waiting for it, if you want to know the distance to a specific galaxy, well, that could take...
Like making as I say, like that if there is no supernova and then it disappears. I like that.
If there's not a supernova explosion, and these are rare. And sitting around waiting for it, if you want to know the distance to a specific galaxy, well, that could take years. Potentially it might never happen in your lifetime. And if it does, you I mean, you could be unlucky and it was a cloudy day and there was no telescopes available to look at it or something like that, even though it's something that people often prioritize. But anyway, we need other methods to calculate the distance to galaxies. Now, this is now when we begin to move into the meat of this video, where we begin to look at the distances and how distances are calculated on an intergalactic scale, so between galaxies. Now, pretty much everything in every galaxy in the universe, apart from a few close galaxies like...
Okay, we're now about 7 minutes into the video, and this has taken almost 3 hours. And I know we're getting into even more of the same, like getting pictures in, placing them, making animations, yada yada yada. You get the point. I think I'm gonna leave the editing now. What I do want to do though is I just want to take you on the last steps of producing a video. So we're actually gonna skip ahead, and I've cheated a bit, just like when you do like a TV cook thing kind of thing. So I actually prepared a video that I need to upload. I just want to show you the process of that, so you have a feeling for that as well. Yes, so I just want to do that, and then we can I'll finish this up later. I mean, there is probably, I know that we're gonna get into some more like animating stuff, and it's gonna probably take me another 3 hours to finish this, since I guess we're about halfway there now. And I guess, as I said, still gaps here that I want to fill out. There's some stuff out here I want to fill out as well. So there's still a lot of stuff to do before this video is done. So to avoid that, I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure this one is saved, and then we're gonna prepare to, I'm just gonna jump over here. Then we're gonna prepare to actually do a upload of a video, so you guys get a feeling for that as well, so you can see that part of the process. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just gonna verify, because YouTube don't want me to. There we go. Okay. So good. Right? Right, that should be good. Let's get this back. Yoink, like that. Okay, so here we have the very basic YouTube upload interface, right? So I have prepared a video, and it's the next of I haven't done a thumbnail of it. On the road again. Okay, I haven't done the thumbnail for this, so I'll just quickly do that, actually. This is the next video on with Branag's next Skyrim video. It's already done. It is especially cat sheets are so it is already rendered. It's done. It's been edited, and it's ready for upload. But we need to do a thumbnail. These videos are a little special because I always use the same thumbnail over and over again. So there's not a lot to actually do in them. So I'm just gonna steal one of the previous thumbnails. There we go. I'm gonna take that border, get rid of that. We're just gonna quickly change this one up. Nope, not that one. That one. Stop. Why are you doing that? Oh, I don't have... Did it turn off on unlock? There we go. Oh, no, this is video 3. There we go. Yeah, we're not gonna do live rendering. First of all, rendering the video that we just edited would take probably an hour and a half, maybe. I don't want to sit around waiting for that. And you guys don't want to sit around looking at a video. That's basically as boring as watching paint dry. I even got as far, and I tried to see if I could write a script that would send me a notification on my phone when the render was done. So I could start the computer rendering and then go to the living room and watch something on Netflix or something. And then come back when it was done. Oh, okay, you want to see the exporting. Okay, yeah, sure. That's actually fair. I'll just finish this thumbnail, then I'll show you that. That's a good point.
And this video I decided to name that On the Road Again. I'm gonna do that. Get rid of all that text. And we can make this, I guess, slightly bigger. One thing I always do is, you can see here, this one says minus, this is the keying. This is basically how close the letters are. This is the default spacing between the letters. I always reduce that to allow me to make the text bigger and cram it a little bit more in. So now we're basically just gonna go and okay, so here's a point that I always do. You can see here, white text on a light background. This is difficult to read, and especially if it gets shrunk down to a thumbnail size. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna use the color selection tool, and we're gonna select, yes. We're gonna select all the text that's all white right now. Then we're going to use the same method as we did before by growing this with 5 pixels. Take a bucket. I already have a layer here called border. Fill it in. And instantly it becomes a lot easier to read. So that's the thumbnail. Done. Let's just quickly open that up so I can show you the rendering process. I'm not going to go and actually render the video, as I said, but we're just gonna show you and imagine this is finished. So this is the video we've just been working on. Make a full selection of everything, and then go up here. I go to render as. I already have my YouTube 1080p 60 FPS preset. So again, everything is done in the template. I don't need to sit and set up my render settings every time. I'll just automatically click here to project location, moving it over there so that goes into the right folder. And then I will click render, and then we'll go and do something else for a few hours. But that's pretty much the render process. That's how simple it is. I mean, you can, if you're interested, you can show you the template here. Shows the frame rate, shows the maximum bit rates, and like just, yeah. I haven't played around with this too much. I could probably fine tune this a little bit more, but it works. But not now. So we can see we have the finished video here. It's fairly large. I mean, these Skyrim videos are long. They are about an hour and a half. And even though there's no camera or anything else in it, it's just the gameplay with me with voiceover. This is still 2.5 gig that we have to upload. It is simple. I mean, rendering. I mean, once you set up your render settings, it's very easy. You go click render, you go and do something else. So again, 2.5 gig. We need to upload that. Just gonna drag that over here, and the upload will start. And while it does that, we can begin to actually give this a begin to set up the metadata on it, right? So what I'm just gonna do here is I'm just going to find one of the previous videos because I can't remember exactly how I named them. Just to make sure that I kind of got the same naming standards on the videos. So they're kind of the same, right? So I'm just going to copy from the last video. Give this another title here. Maybe not capital R there. Actually, keep the capital R. Let's go camel case. Adventures of Renash, this is number 3. Then I have some default tags that I always use here. So D2EA, Down To Earth Astronomy. Astronomy, we're going to remove that. Gaming, we keep that space. It's not space. It's not Elite Dangerous. It's not anything beyond. It's not a space sim. Two and a half gig is not much. It is fairly compressed, so it's okay. I mean, YouTube compresses it anyway, so. But the upload is almost done. Let's begin to tag this. Let's give it some tags here. We're gonna go Skyrim. Let's play, and even without the without that one,
Series Ranash. Oh. Elite is still, oh, Elite is still tag. Oops. And you see now it's done uploading, so now let's begin processing it. Yeah, thank you. What else could we put in here? Gameplay, but I mean, who searches up Skyrim gameplay videos now? I'll probably come back and tag this a little bit more later on, but let's get the thumbnail up as well. Video, Skyrim, on the road again. Get the thumbnail. I have Knight asked what my network connection is. I have a 360 megabit up and down connection. And the best I've ever been able to, I think, some servers I've been able to push 200 megabits, but it's really I really only utilize the connection in situations like this, actually, where I'm both streaming and I'm uploading like a huge file at the same. It's like when I do multiple things at the same time. So that's when you need a connection like that. But it's really nice. Okay, I think $200 down, 20 up. There's a lot of ISPs that's really like gimp on the upload connection. And obviously when you're doing YouTube stuff, that's just no good. I mean, if I had a 20 up, I would be using half my bandwidth just streaming. Dongle goes, I like my 1 gigabit up and down. Oh, I want that as well. Now we pretty much just have to sit and wait for YouTube to finish processing it. Once that is done, I don't even think that I actually have a video I can show you once it's done processing. So maybe we'll just actually have to wait for this to finish. Let's go full cam here. But here's a trick. Now we can still just finish this. We could look for more tags if we want to. And a good trick. Oh. Hold on, give me a second here while moving windows around everywhere. A good trick when you're looking for tags is to actually open up an incognito tab and then type in the game that you're playing. I just go to Google. Okay, so there's nothing here we can really use, but normally if you type in the game name, you can see what people often pair up their searches with, and it might be a good thing to use those tags, or at least get that use that as inspiration if it fits your video. We can try to do the same thing with so like Elite Dangerous ships, ranks, VR, review, Anaconda, mining, and ship builds are something that people find apparently are searching for, and is fairly. So that would explain why a lot of the mining builds that I'm doing at the moment seems to be doing very well, because it seems that mining and ship builds are very something people are interested in. And also with the April update, then ship builds is going to be even more interesting. But Google also has like search engine optimization.
best tags for Elite is free Anaconda and hot orbital. Now Google also has some search engine optimization tools where you can go in and you can use that to kind of help you along to find good tags for your videos. Yeah. And the reason why, if you're wondering why I'm constantly trying to keep stuff over on this screen, is YouTube don't really like when people show their dashboard. So that's why I'm trying not to show the actual dashboard, but just to upload GUIing and stuff like that, because yeah, for some reason YouTube don't want people to show that publicly. I mean, I guess you can, but I mean, they don't like it. At least that's my impression when I've heard stories of people who have been live streaming and then showed their dashboard, they got into trouble, and I don't want to end up doing that, so that's why I'm keeping that over there. Let me see here. Processing is about halfway done, so it's still going to take a while. But what we could do is to go into an older video. Here's one. You can use this as an example. Where's my face? Not in the way, I guess down here in this corner. So this is the whole end scene thing you will see at the end of videos. Again, once the video is uploaded, I can go in here. Oops, not use template. Import from video. I can then choose one of my previous videos, and it will then automatically import these elements. These elements of every video. But I hope you liked the video. Like the Patreon logo, the channel logo, and then a video that's being inserted up here that YouTube chooses. So this is basically YouTube saying which of my videos is most likely that people want to see next. And YouTube put it there. So it's best for viewers. Instead of me guessing what you want to see next, YouTube guesses for me. I mean, it's also customized for every single person. It's a lot more efficient. Could you do a Cobra Mark IV demo compared to the Mark III in a live stream sometime? I've always want to see that ship. It's like, but I joined it too late. There's a lot of hate for the Cobra Mark IV. A lot of people say it's shit. The internal layout on this is pretty good. But I don't know. I don't know if the hate where they actually originated from. If it's just because it is effectively a premium ship that only some people will have access to. I don't know. But you know what? I think it's actually gonna be it for tonight. It's been what, 3 hours now. Jealousy, that's also an option, yeah. I don't know. But I think I'm gonna call it for tonight. I know we didn't finish the edit, but I kind of did expect that. It is gonna, as I said, that type of video really takes a long time to edit. But I'm definitely gonna finish that up. Text on your chair is backwards. Ha! Yeah, it is. It's upside down. Hold on. And this stuff, much better. Okay, I'm gonna call it for tonight, guys. Thanks a lot for you guys who've been with me for tonight. I hope you found it interesting to get a little sneak peek behind the scenes, and to get a feeling for the amount of time it actually takes to edit these videos. I should say that these Science of Elite videos, they do take a lot longer than the normal video. I think normally I spend anywhere from, if I'm well prepared, I can probably do the edit in an hour. If not, and I need to go in and shoot additional B-roll, then it maybe takes 2 or 3 hours to do an edit for a normal video. A video like this the size of elite videos, I'm probably going to expect it to use anywhere from 4, 5, maybe 6 hours before I'm fully done. So they take a lot longer to do, which is also why they're not as frequent, because again, it is it's a large time investment. But it's some videos that I really like to do, so that's why I try to keep them coming. Picture the how it was made. You're thinking like the data analysis behind it. I'm planning to talk about the black hole pictures in Hello Dave. But there's a lot of space news this week. There's both all the black hole pictures, which is really awesome. There's the lunar mission thing that crashed, and there's a SpaceX launched some tests as well. Okay, so I'll mention that in Hello Dave, but spoiler, the colors are just something they put in. Basically the pictures are black and white. They just added the colors for effect, basically. I don't think they did multi-band observations of it. That would surprise me a lot if they did. And even though I think the bandwidth that they recorded in are outside the visual spectrum anyway, because they wouldn't be able to penetrate all the dust that's around the black hole. So I think they used some fairly long, I'm not sure, I'll have to look up what wavelength they actually used, but it's not even visible light that they used. So colors doesn't even make sense. So it's just basically random colors. They've added a random color scale, just put it on top of it to give it some color. Anyway, enough on that. I'll call it for tonight. Again, thanks to all you guys who've been here. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, remember to give the video a like down below, or the stream a like down below. If you're on Twitch, you can hit the follow button. If you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, so you can see this video we've been editing today when it comes out, and you can be in the comment section like, lol, I saw this being edited live. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and until next time, I'll see you guys in space.